Hello everyone. So the Dream SR and UR tickets for the 5th anniversary are out, and these are probably the most impactful things from the anniversary. The Dream tickets have always been very valuable. The Dream UR is upwards of 9,000 gems, and the Dream SR is, I guess, also upwards of 9,000 because even though there's two copies of the SRs in the large boxes, that doesn't mean you're going to actually pull them. You have a chance of pulling them earlier, but they could also be at the bottom of the box, which could take you, 8,000 gems. But in terms of which is more valuable, obviously the UR, there's less URs in a main box, and we're just going to go over that first. And the question we get a lot is it better to go for the staples, or is it better to go for the cards you need for the current deck? And that is quite simple. It should be the card that you need. That is more important, because the staples you can live with, you can live without. Like, a deck will still function without the staples. It may not be optimal, but without the core cards, that is just not good, right? So if it was between those two, maybe pick a deck that has a long life, like they haven't been nerfed once or twice, or has a really old deck and you need the core cards. It's better to go for those. But otherwise, you can also go for the staples. I think staples is definitely better long term, but it may not have any immediate impact. Now, the second question is whether or not to go for structure deck cards. And the general consensus on that is no, because structure deck cards are very, very cheap to buy in terms of money. So it's never worth to actually get structure deck cards. However, this is only true if you spend money on the game. If you don't spend any money on the game, you actually can't get more copies of, I think the best example would be Gaia, right? You can't get more than one copy of this card if you do not spend money. So if you're completely free to play, this is a card you can consider. I wouldn't consider, the DDD ones or like the Pendulum ones, because they're not good decks. So you really don't need them. But Gaia is actually a decent deck, and you do need 3 copies of this, and you need 3 copies of the SR in order for the deck to kind of function. I think I'll go more in detail when we go over to the SR card, because you need the SR card to actually go into the Magical Knight. So I still wouldn't recommend, but if you're free to play and you want to play Gaia, and it is a pretty decent deck, you definitely can. In terms of UR cards, the specific cards that could be worthy, I think this one, because this I think this is from the internal stream. This is just not a good box. I think I had Tenki as like the only good card. Even that's not like vital in any deck. It's just like it's a good future proof card for any kind of future Beast Warrior decks. This card is pretty good as an XE. It could just close out games. It's 4,000 once you detach the materials, and it's a pretty decent rank 4. But it's just stuck in that box with all this trash. So this is good. Otherwise, also I guess when we go on to UR, avoid mini box URs, because mini box URs are not worth as much. Mini box URs are only worth like upwards of 5,000 gems, which is not that much, right? TG cards, if you want to play TG, but I don't think TG is that good. Like, this is probably a better pickup than TG's. I don't think TG is even tiered. Mystical Sweet Typhoon, definitely recommended. This is a very good card, and this is a card being pushed right now because Cosmic is at limit 3, And then you'd be going into cards like Galaxy Cyclone and like Night Beam. They're just not as good as Mystical Space Typhoon and Cosmic. Those are the two best back row removal. Forbidden Lance kind of acts like a pseudo back row removal in the sense that if they activate a back row to kill your monsters or do something to your monsters, you can use the Forbidden Lance. But Forbidden Lance is currently in the sale, in the gem sale. So actually, this one you only need to spend 5,000 gems on this. So this actually, I wouldn't recommend this. And yeah, other than that, stick and chair, not that good. M7 I think is good. This is a good generic rank 6. This card is whatever. I think it's just like getting out 2 rank 8s is quite difficult. And this card the effect is actually not that amazing because you need to tribute monsters. And sometimes you don't have monsters, and you end up tributing this card, having to tribute this card when you activate the effect. This is actually in well, I guess the deck, the box was decent. Like, it had all the Noble Knight cards, and it had that. But overall, like it's an aged box, so I wouldn't recommend going into the box. So you can pick up M7 from there. Noble Knight structure deck cards, just not relevant. Beyond that, there's really nothing, right? There's really absolutely nothing here that's worthy of picking up. And then soon we're going to be going into, sale territories. This is a mini box card, so you can pick it up, I think, but it's not worth that much. But it is a pretty good level 6 synchro. Beyond that, there's really nothing. There's not really a lot of choices because if you go down further, like Ballista Spot's good, but it's a mini box card. Fiendish is not that necessary. I think Fiendish is really not as good as when it was released. I guess Stratos. If you want to play heroes, that's still good. I also noticed that Konami has not been, every time they have the gem sale, the half gems, they actually haven't progressed that much in terms of, I think where they are up to right now is that is the Fortune Lady box. So they've actually been really slow. Like they haven't reached the Dark Side of Dimensions box. All of this stuff, all of this stuff is actually at full price. And I think it's only like Ritual Beast is at full price. This is all at full price. It's only when you get to, I guess, this box. Yeah, this box is the cutoff, right? So anything beyond this is not part of the sale. And yeah, so once you get to the sale one, though, even if it is a good card, maybe it's a good idea to just take the box, right? I guess on another note, Circle could potentially be good if you're playing Dark Magician, even though Dark Magician is not a strong deck at the moment. But other than that, there's really not that many choices. So I would actually just recommend Mystical Space Typhoon as the card. Like, if I were to just make a verdict on what card are you least likely to regret on getting, it would be Mystical Space Typhoon. It's a good card. It's not in a good box. So I think that's good. What's more interesting would be the SR. But the recommended ones are all really good. Like, these are the ones I would say to pick no matter what. Just because they're good. Lightning Vortex is good. Karma Cut is good. Treacherous Trapple is good. And Malevolent Sin is also really good. So, you can't go wrong with any of these. Other than, there's a few caveats. This card, Treacherous Trapple, could get banned in the near future. Just because it's really powerful. Malevolent Sin is in a box with some other good XEs, so you might actually just want to go into that box anyway. But I think these two, like, this contains Harpies, but I think Harpies is not worth going into now when it's so close to either being power crept in the future or getting banned. getting further restrictions. It's already been hit a few times. In terms of the cards that are from here, I think Organic Guardian is really good. This is, you know, one of the strongest effects in the game, and the only thing holding this back is the 2 level 3 rock monsters. And Dark Calling, if you want to play Evil Hero and you don't want to spend money, you might want to pick up a copy of this. Grand Mole is an interesting card, but it hasn't seen any play. This is a very good effect, but it just hasn't seen any play. And Tenki, I think this is a potentially recommended card. It's very powerful. Like, it searches for a Beast Warrior, and yeah, it'll be good for a long time. And the Harpy cards, you may as well go into the box if you want. Like, it's pointless to pick a Harpy card from here because you need the other cards anyway. Just continue to go. Automat's not relevant, so these are the things I'm talking about. Photon Strike Bowser, Steel Sword Roach. They're all really good. I think this card is also in it, so you might just want to go pick these 4 up instead of, you know, just picking 11 that's in. Other than that, we'll just pretty much just go straight down to Karma Cut. Right, there's not much good stuff here. Just go straight to Karma Cut, and then these are good cards, but like I said, this is in a really good box, like Light Sworn. And the thing is, you can't just have one Charge of the Light Brigade. You need the other Light Sworn cards anyway, so you may as well go into it. One thing I've noticed just looking at this is it seems like Konami's done something a bit fishy. Because I mentioned I'm going to talk about the Gaia card, but it looks like the Gaia card's not even in here. If I just go, it doesn't appear like it's in here. This doesn't have the card, and this is very strange because I still have the Arc 5 release, if I'm not mistaken. This is the Arc 5 release, and look at this. It does have the Gaia SR, and this is a core card. You need to run 3 copies of this if you want to play Gaia, because you can't go into your fusions otherwise. You need to run this card at 3. So it appeared in an earlier SR. This is the batch of Dream tickets before this, but it's not appearing here. So is Konami intentionally stopping people, free-to-play players, from finishing up the Gaia deck? Because I noticed that here you can see that the URs here. The URs are here. Where's the SRs? But the thing is, it's pointless getting 3 copies of this if you don't have 3 copies of the other one, because you can't go into it. So yeah, that's it's not worth getting Gaia now because you can't complete it with those 2. You know, combine these 2 with the Arc 5 release SR. You can't even, and that's 4 Dream ticket investment. That's pretty heavy. It's like a desperate attempt at finishing a deck when you don't want to spend money. And then SRs, I think pretty much done, because we're going to go into there's still a lot of good SR cards. This potentially, but they're just not. They don't cost that much, because we're gonna get to the part where they're part of the gem sale, right? But if they're part of the gem sale, you may as well just go into the individual boxes, and you can get some other cards as well. Even I think most of the other cards will be worthless. Red Eyes Fusion, potentially, if you want to play Red Eyes. Red Eyes is not relevant at the moment, but you can't get more copy of this unless you spend money. Same with Neos Fusion. But Neos Fusion, you'd have to spend a UR on the Brave Neos as well. And yeah, I mean, all of this stuff is already on sale. Not to say that there isn't some good cards, it's just that you can get them like really easily just by going into the individual boxes, and a lot of them are from mini boxes. So offerings, definitely don't need Master Change. You can get Master Change like just through this, the structure decks anyway. Like I think if you just go into structure decks, you'll probably get 2 Master Change. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This is okay, but it's definitely not as good as Cosmic or MST. So I would recommend getting those and not this card. And yeah, Wall of Disruption and Challenge is good, but you may as well go into this box. This is 2k gems, and then you can get like these cards as well. But it's 2k gems to go through this entire box and get these. No point spending your SR. So my recommendation, probably Karma Cut overall. Out of this, like, you can't go wrong with Karma Cut. And yeah, I hope this video helped, and everyone have a nice day.